Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping into another session of Epic 7 out today. Got some more summoning for you guys. It's been a little while since we had our last limited run here, so Biblis is now going to be joining the ranks. She is Akadi's older sister, and her design is phenomenal. Really like flower themes, so as you can tell by my username. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this and summon for her. Hopefully we can grab her artifact as well. It seems like it's pretty interesting, although there's a trend with these limited artifacts where they all tend to have to be max limit broken in order for you to get their benefits, right? So, ooh, nice, Amiki, that's pretty nice. The artifact over here, Old Gardening Shears, if I can go ahead and show you, it is kind of like a guiding light. Now, if you use an AoE attack, basically, you can essentially guarantee stealth. You can also inflict a random debuff, decrease attack speed, unhealable, or silence. So it is kind of like a more reliable guiding light to a degree. Like, you can ensure the 100% stealth. The issue is that it can't be on a basic attack, right? And that's the only real consistent way of getting it, unless you have a unit that can repeatedly cycle like a passive or like an AoE hit on an S2 or S3, and that's usually not very feasible. But maybe that one turn is all you really need for that unit to survive until next turn, right? So it could be nice. It could definitely be nice. Now, we're getting an Armin here. Not too great so far, I think. Let's see what we got. Oh, that was an all 3-star summon. Okay, but yeah, Byblis, do I think she is gonna be like game-changing, meta-changing, meta-defining even? Not necessarily, and the reason I say that is not to be dismissive of her. I think her kit is pretty interesting, but in some ways it's also kind of bland, a little bland. The S1 with a silence and pushback kind of just reminds you of like every other support unit that's been released after Aola. They just decide to slap silence on all their S1s and pushback combat readiness. The defense break is cool and all. I think that she's gonna be essentially like a Politis, right? Politis is to cleave as Byblis is going to be to counter units. You can't really rely on her to just shut down cleave, right? Nowadays, people don't even use Politis into cleave. I don't think Byblis is going to be used that frequently into counter units, because she is a reactionary unit, right? So she's kind of like Rowana. In order for you to get the benefits, your opponent has to do something first, and it's not even like Politis where it's an action your opponent could potentially control, like, oh, Politis is here to stop the non-attack skill of Amit, for example, right? Then you can react, or you can stop the CR pushing, you can break the skill nulls and stuff. This is an RNG proc from your opponent, so you have to rely on your opponent RNGing you, counter-attacking, and as a result of counter-attack, you can proc your stuff. So if your opponent gets unlucky, but also technically lucky, and they don't counter you, you don't get any benefits from it. She does give you quite a bit of benefit, I do admit. So, you know, having defense breaks, that's a pretty consistent defense break, and it's AoE as well. It's not too terrible, right? It's not shabby. But yeah, I just feel like she's gonna be a Politis where if someone's really scared of her, they could just pick her and the ML Landy, for example, together. It's not uncommon. People pick Bunny Dom and DDR, for example, together, right? Pick the unit that counters your unit with your unit. Don't let your opponent take it. But I also feel like if you really want to stop counterattacks, Astromancer Elena is probably also a pretty good bet. You can also just run her really bulky. I think Byblis would probably be run bulky. You can probably run Astromancer Elena pretty bulky. Now, given she is an ML5 and Byblis is a RGB, now given she is a limited unit, but you guys, I think you know what I mean, right? She's a bit more accessible. So Astromancer Elena, not as accessible, but Knockwall is here, and Knockwall can also do the same thing with her bind, and she also has seal as well, so arguably can potentially do a bit more than Byblis. So, and she's a proactive unit. That means you are actively doing something to your opponent and not relying on your opponent to do something back to you. So I feel like there's a little give and take there, right? Ooh, okay, here's our spark. All right, I'm gonna shut my mouth here, and we gotta oh, okay, there we go! Alrighty then. Oh, her sprite looks really nice. I really like that. Can't be responsible for any accidents that might occur in the garden, huh? Alright, I see. She really just pulls a, what is that anime series called? Another, right? For those of you guys who've watched that series, she really just pulls a scene out of that one where the entire chandelier just drops. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. She just literally like, that's the first thing I thought of when she drops the chandelier. I'm like, ah, shoot. Oh boy, good times, huh? Okay, what do we got here? Ooh, that's my first time getting Claudia! Nice! Very, very cool. Okay, I don't think her kit is absolutely amazing. I think out of all of them, the 3-star guy is I think the best. Ezra, I think his name was, right? So unfortunately we did not get her artifact here. Now, do I want a copy of the artifact? I probably do. Am I gonna keep summoning for it? No, that is not gonna happen. I might buy one from the shop just to have it, but I don't feel like it's a must-have, especially if you're not max limit breaking it. But who knows, in the future, maybe somebody can use it, right? Anyway, it is time for our showcase, so let's jump into that. Alright guys, so here we are with the first showcase of Biblis. Now, I actually just finished tweaking her build, and here it is guys. It is a pretty bulky build, and she isn't actually that fast. I feel like it's better to just build her up on bulk and load up on effectiveness. Now, if you can manage the speed, go for it. I just really lack speed gear. This is the quality of gear that I currently have on her. It is not great. I mean, yeah, I know the 100 gear score there, the in-game gear score at least, but yeah, the pieces here, not the best. I kind of took some pieces off of like Assassin Cartuja and my Sea Lilius and kind of replaced them with some other things, but yeah, for the most part, I feel like her build is okay. I'm going to be testing out a few artifacts here, so Iron Fan for this first one. Let's just see how the combat readiness goes. It can only be activated once per turn, but if you go for an S2, you'll push up more with her passive, so 40+% with her passive here, and then you get to go for an S3, you get to blind everybody, hopefully it's going to be pretty nice, and then you get the combat readiness from using S3 as well, because it's an AoE. Yeah, let's go ahead and see what we got though. Going into this here, we have Byblis, Midnight God Lilius, and Fire Charlotte. I'm actually testing out Byblis and her build as well, so she is on Rocket Punch Gauntlet and a bunch of defense, and we'll see how it goes. So, chose Midnight God Lilius and Charlotte here. Midnight God Lilius mostly so I can try to whittle down this Arwell, but chose to fight this all-light team. It's a very light meta right now, in Arena and in RTA in general. And I thought Charlotte would be nice because if my opponent counters due to her AoE, it could work out quite well for us. Now, of course, Aiden over here can always counter you. She is going to be quite annoying. I don't know if I really want to go for an S3 here. I know it decreases the hit chance, but Bunny Dom's going next. We do get a barrier, which is nice, but do I really want to go for that? Do I just want to go ahead and silence the Arwell? I think I'll go for that. Push her back, silence her. And let's see if the Bunny Dom is actually on Doctor's Bag. Not on Doctor's Bag, so probably could have gone away with using an S3. I am just going to save it to see what will happen. Alright. Oh, okay! What's going to happen is we're all going to die, apparently. Alright, so with our Knight down, that's actually not really good for us in general, but we will use Midnight God Lilius to try to chunk down this Arwell. Biblis is gonna get attacked here. We haven't even procced anyone's counter or anything yet. I can probably go for an S3 now, because it can decrease hit chance, it can go ahead and put a barrier for everyone, so it could work out for us quite nicely. If I can hit the Landy, oh, she's gonna resist that, which is very unfortunate. So there's the counter from the Aiden, and we'll see what the extra attack does here. Okay, we actually hit the Aiden, which is kind of nice. There's a dual attack. Biblis goes down, but you know what? I think she's kind of done her job. There's a defense break on everyone that really matters, and we can just finish it off with our DPS units. Charlotte's on Broken Will of the Priest, so we do get extra hit chance. Not that we actually hit the Aiden there. which is unfortunate, but it's okay. Let's go for an S3 onto this Bunny Dom. So, yeah, I don't really know how I feel about Byblis. She's one of those units, like I mentioned in the summoning part of the video, if you kind of skipped over that. I'll reiterate here. She is kind of like a Politis, right? Even her kit's very similar to Politis. It has a blind in there. Instead of a stun, there's a silence and a pushback, right? So it's very, very similar in terms of kind of controlling, kind of debilitating. But the issue I feel with her is that she's very reliant on your opponent countering. And if your opponent doesn't counter, she kind of doesn't do her job at defense breaking. But yeah, anyway, that was just the first test, literally first time ever using her, as you can see from the friendship there. So let's jump into another one and see what we can manage. Alright guys, how about this one? This looks like a team that you could potentially run into in RTA. Not a bad team at all here on defense. So ML Landy, Luluka, and Arwell, along with Karina. So Biblis here's job, let's see if we can defense break the Karina. If we can, that would actually put us in a pretty good position. Luluka doesn't really have a cleanse outside of her original, like her first S3. And there's no real other cleansing on the team. So hopefully we can fare pretty well into this. We have Emma Bologna here as well. I want to test out our damage potential if we defense break these tankier units like Karina, like Arwell, for example. So do I want to go for an S2? Do I just defense break? I don't think so. I think Luluka's gonna kind of do her job against that, right? She's gonna cleanse the attack down, so I'll save it. Do I want to go for Biblis's S3 here? I don't think so. Again, we'll wait. Let's try to silence the Karina. Oh yes, that's very, very nice. This will go into the Bologna, that is perfectly fine. She won't be able to counter anything like that, but it's okay. She is actually slower than my Byblis, so Byblis will be able to cleanse with S3, and we should be okay. Let's see if we can hit the Landy here. Gonna go and S3 to cleanse. I am on Rocket Punch Gauntlet. Let's see if we can break the barrier. Alright, there's the counter attack, very, very nice. And now Biblis is going to go. She's pushing up in combat readiness. Look at that, pushing up with that Iron Fan. And unfortunately, Bologna gets the cut here, so we can't actually use Biblis to get rid of the defense buff on the Karina, but I'm gonna rip my S3 into her regardless. Let's see how much damage we can do. She is defense buffed, but along with that defense break, hopefully we at least get rid of the barrier. Oh, not enough. Okay, let's go for the S3. There's no reason not to. Get that decreased hit chance, potentially debilitating this Karina, so she can't, oh, never mind, we're only gonna land the blind on the Landy. That really sucks, but look at that, the Luluka is actually on, oh, look, that's really cool. Luluka is actually on counter set, so she countered there. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Whoa, okay then. Karina's gonna go for Bologna, but you know what? I think I'm okay with this. It's not gonna kill. We're pretty tanky here, and we get to cleanse up. Yeah, Biblis's S2 actually has a really short cooldown, so kind of like Politis there. Let's see if we can just get some damage. Is Luluka, she doesn't have a cleanse. Yeah, it's gonna be another few turns. Let's go for an attack down on the Landy. Oh, actually, we just killed there because that defense break. Very nice. Push back the Karina, or not. Doesn't really matter now. Hey, I think I can get behind this. Now, in RTA, it's really risky, right? Because if you have a cleanser or a healer, and you have a tank and a knight, you really only have Biblis and 2 DPS units, so you're running the risk of your cleanser or your knight getting banned out, and if that is the case, then you're also running the risk of one of your 2 DPSs getting banned too. Let's see how much damage we do here. Let's go on the Karina. Not quite enough. It's a very, very tanky team there. Let's go ahead and push up with this. Yeah, so it is really risky, I will say. It is really risky. But we'll see if we can pull her off in RTA. She's one of those units I really want to try. Fumir as well. I haven't really gotten to try Fumir out in RTA. It's a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. She's just really hard to fit into my draft style. And I feel like Biblis is going to fall in that same category as well. But yeah, you see, Biblis doesn't really do much after the opponent just doesn't counter. This Luluka is on a counter set, but again, without her actually counterattacking, we don't get a chance to do her thing. And you can't control that, which is unfortunate. Politis is at least a unit that, you know, you can bait out an opponent's non-attack skill. You can hit a Senya, for example, and that Senya can use her non-attack skill, get a barrier. You can proc your Politis, right? For Biblis, you can't force your opponent to counterattack. You're kind of hitting, you're like poking at a bear, right? You're just poking at a bear, hoping that the Emma Landy counters, and if she does, she could potentially kill your team too. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Alright guys, so moving on into the next match over here, we got a very similar team to the first one that we had fought, and the reason I'm fighting this one again is because there's an Aola on the other side. Aola is a unit I absolutely despise fighting against. I'd rather fight against Lua. I'd rather fight against Emma Landy. She is like the worst unit in the game to fight against. You never know what build she's on. She could be slow or tanky. She could be fast and full of effectiveness. You never know. But what we do have here is Biblis that I want to use into the Aola. So in order to kind of play around the Aola here and her cleanse, I'm going to try using Knockwell's artifact. I think I'm still going to like Iron Fan better, but Knockwell's artifact gives me a chance to defense break on my AoE, which is my S3. It doesn't work on my S2, but S2 already has a pretty good chance of defense breaking. I think it's a 70% chance. So we'll be going for this and seeing how it goes. If all goes according to plan... Oh shoot, never mind. Okay, the Aola is really fast here, which is really unfortunate, but the good thing is we have Hand Guide to help us out. Let's go for an S3. Let's just cleanse all those shenanigans off of our team. Now Biblis gets to go, and I don't really know what I want to do. I could go for an AoE here, actually, and what it'll do is it'll decrease the hit chance, potentially, for everyone on the other team. It'll proc, but that'll proc Aola, so she's gonna cleanse that. We will get a barrier. Aiden is going to be going, but Aiden's going to be countering. Okay, so I think this is going to be a very interesting Politis-like situation. So watch this. Let's just watch it play out. Aiden's going to counter, right, because we're going to miss her here. And because she counters, boom, right, she gets an attack buff, which means it's probably, my units are probably dead, but Biblis goes for an S2. We're going to, oh, shoot. Never mind. We don't land like any defense breaks here. That is awful. Aola's gonna be able to cleanse the blind here. So because we didn't actually land really many debuffs at all, this is not looking good. Landy's also protected, so everyone's invincible with the skill. No, I'm just gonna go for an S1 here. There's no reason for me to pop my S3. Okay, down goes Byblis, unfortunately. And Hand Guy is going to get stunned, which also sucks. Oh boy, probably should have just gone for an S1 but on Biblis, but yeah, wanted to see that interaction play out. So let's go for a CR pushback on Emma Landy. She's silenced. Cowok's going to die very soon. Let's go for an S2. Let's attack down the Landy. Just going to stack her up with debuffs here. No strip on the barrier. She is going to counter. Gonna hurt quite a bit too. Biblis is going to proc, so this should break the remaining skill nulls. Can we get more defense? Oh, there you go. Finally, more defense breaks, and that is good for me. Oh shoot, that is not gonna stop that. All right, let's go for an S3 here. Let's see if we can hit the defense broken units with our Lionheart. Now you can probably achieve the same results here by using something like a Bryceria. Oh my god, it's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, you can definitely achieve the same results by using something like Bryceria to defense break everybody at the start, and if they counter, then a procs Lionheart, she cuts, you can mow everybody down. But the thing with Biblis is that she is okay. Let's definitely kill this Aola. Don't want to be messing with her. She's okay because she can actually spam her S2. You can see right there, right? We basically used it consecutively, which isn't too bad. Yeah, it's just a little, it's a little, inconsistent, right? Like I've been saying all video, it's just a little inconsistent. Oh boy, this Aiden's gonna absolutely destroy me here. I don't even think we're gonna win this. Right, she has an S3, so does Lionheart survive? Probably not, she has an attack buff. Oh, we barely survived. We barely cut too. Can we get a lucky crit sometime? That would be kind of nice. Yeah, definitely not a situation I'd want to be in again. So, let's not do this. Let's not do this again. Alright, barely scraped by. Yeah, I don't know. Not really feeling the Biblis here. I think I'd prefer using something like Knockwall instead. You could have sealed the Aiden. You could have S3'd as well to prevent Landy from countering. I'm quite puzzled. Okay, so for the final little showcase over here, let's go ahead and take Biblis in with MLK and Christy. Now, I think for this match, Biblis would probably benefit more from the Iron Fan. I could actually test her out on her own artifact, but I feel like it's really RNG, plus the LRK has immunity there, so let's go for something a bit more neutral. No debuffs. Let's go for an Iron Fan here, because the combat readiness allows us to turn cycle a little better. Yeah, let's give this another shot, and with 150 something effectiveness, we should be able to debuff everybody except the Luluka, but with our Christy over here, my MLK's also going to be very resistant, and as a result, I think we'll be okay. I don't think we need to worry about the debuffs. MLK should have solo potential here. Midnight Galileulius is really here to just mow down the LRK, to just kind of hopefully kill him. Don't know what he's on. He's on Rise of a Monarch. Alright. So, not gonna matter too much, I think. Ooh, that's a fast Bellion trying to catch us off guard, huh? Bellion's actually gonna go before my Biblis, so that's like a 260 Bellion. Okay, we do kill the LRK, which means we get to push up. Luluka gets to push up as well, so she will be hitting us with that AoE. It's gonna be a little bit annoying, because it's gonna strip the Midnight Galileulius, so we might die here. And Biblis also gets silenced and blinded, so I'm not a huge fan of that. Alright, MLK though, gonna be doing MLK things. I don't think we're even gonna see Biblis do much. The issue is, let's go ahead and push back the Bellion. Okay, nice little provoke there. Not that it really matters. Oh, look at that! The Midnight Galileulius just evaporated! Okay, we gotta go for an S3 here. So let's heal some health, and let's get the attack buff going for MLK. Now MLK should be able to just, kill here, or at least defense break, right? Because Biblis is not doing much. Because Yufine's not countering, right? Okay, there we go. Yufine gets to counter, so Biblis gets to go, and we are blinded, so there's a chance we miss. We do miss the Yufine. We do get the 2-turn defense break on Bellion, though. It's not terrible. Do I want to risk the S3? Let's just risk the S3 here. Why not? The Yufine is going to be able to cleanse if she's at full fighting spirit. Yeah, she is going to be at full fighting spirit. No counter from her. Okay. And let's see here. MLK has been countering, because I don't think Bellion's been critting. Oh, there we go. Yep, so down goes the Yufine. Almost. Not quite. I think she's gonna kill our Biblis, though. Oh, that kind of sucks. Did she do much there? I don't really think so. Okay, MLK gets crit by the Bellion here, so we at least get that constellation. Got a kill on that defense broken unit. But again, I feel like we could have more proactively done that ourselves. Maybe if you ran Knockwall on her own artifact, or if you ran Bryceria here, probably could have gotten that same result. If we ran Bryceria, probably would have been able to stop the Yufine from going to Trauma State 2, which could have been useful. Probably. Or at least, sorry, prevented her from reviving with the Holy Sack. But anyway, let's just keep on hitting her here. Ooh, is Yufine... Oh, no, she still has cooldown, so I think we're fine, This is the MLK show. He was there as a failsafe, and I'm glad I brought him along, because, this doesn't really turn out like I planned. I was hoping the Bellion was, like, on a counter build, like a slow counter Bellion, and I was hoping that the Yufine would actually counter me more than she did, so she only really countered me once. So yeah, I don't know. My final thoughts on her is that I think she could be okay. Do I see many uses in her in RTA? It depends. She might be better later, or in certain drafts. I just haven't really... I mean, again, this is the first 20 minutes or so that I've been using her. Just initial thoughts and opinions, and I haven't really watched anybody else use her either. But initial thoughts and stuff, she's alright. Don't think I'll be utilizing her in draft necessarily. She gets really easily countered by units like Lionheart Sirmia. You can definitely get punished by Abyssal Euphine. You saw how fast she fed that Abyssal Euphine. It's absolutely insane. So, yeah, there's quite a few things that you can do to kind of stop her. Alright, let's go for the Soulburn. Let's end this now. There you go, Luluka's down. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Biblis in the comments section down below. I really want her to be good, because counter units are super annoying. But yeah, I feel like she needs a little bit more. Maybe if she had hit chance, maybe if she was able to reduce the damage of counterattacks or something to help support the team a bit better. I don't know. But with that being said though, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe for more Epic 7 content. And until next time, take care.